Well done. You found a way to connect to the internet. Welcome to the QAA Podcast, premium episode 310, the White Hat approved healing computer monitor controversy. As always, we're your hosts, Jake Rockatansky
and Travis View. Sometimes a story is so dense with the kind of topics we're interested in. It's like the news equivalent of cheesecake, you know? It's like so rich and like the information equivalent of like sugar, carbs, and fat that's just totally irresistible, regardless of how bad it might be for you. And I think that's the case with a recent report from Will Sommer's newsletter False Flag from The Bulwark. So I'm going to try and briefly summarize it. I think inefficiently, it's hard to summarize before we start talking to Will about it. So it concerns a medbed-style pseudo-medical technology called the Energy Enhancement System, which exploded in popularity thanks to the conspiracist Jason Shurka. Shurka believes that the so-called technology is a key for a global network of enlightened beings for elevating humanity who are collectively called the Light Systems Cabal. Sales and licensing of these devices have been lucrative to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. And consequently, Shurka has used some of his windfall to launch a streaming service called Unifyd TV. But Shurka had a falling out with the company that originally made these devices, leading to lawsuits and accusations that the leadership of the Energy Enhancement Systems, or EE system, have lost favor of the Light System Cabal. So here to talk about all of that is Will. And Will, thank you so much for joining us again.
Hey, happy to be here always.
The light cabal is fighting again.
Yeah, I know. I hate when the light cabal just, can't get along.
Usually cabal has like negative connotations, but here it seems like these are benevolent beings that want to heal us.
Well, you know, it's funny because, there are kind of like QAnon, like white hat associations here, but also it's like the way he portrays them, it's like their ideas are good, but maybe their methods are a little unsavory. They're very kind of like, Jason Shurka, you need, destroy all in our path. So yeah, we'll get into it.
I love that he's created like a celestial group that he answers to that like might be malevolent, like, depending on the day.
It's very it's really like, you better not make me mad, or the cabal will come after you.
The only way to beat a bad cabal is with a good cabal.
But even sort of maybe a amoral cabal.
So I want to start, there's lots of moving parts in the story, but I want to start with the technology itself. So this is something you've previously reported on for the Daily Beast. So it's, the Energy Enhancement System, or EE system. So how would you describe this?
Wow. Okay. So this is going to be a lot. So basically, it's like a computer monitor, and it has like some doohickeys in the back. Like I think that there's a fan, there are a lot of wires, and the monitor plays what sort of like looks like kind of like a English-like or like Roman alphabet-like symbols at different speeds and in different colors. So it almost looks like a kind of colorful static. And so these images, they kind of flash, and then supposedly people believe that this heals things like cancer or autism.
Do you have any idea whether or not these machines are using the Stargate technology? It sounds kind of similar.
Yeah, I don't think, some of these people believe this is of alien origin or angels, but, in court records, it's come out that this stuff it's programmed in the coding language BASIC.
Okay. Language of the gods, obviously.
And the devices themselves are, sometimes in court they'll say, well, we just go to Costco and get the monitors. So it's not like the technology itself is that high tech.
Right. So yeah, right. It's like so even if you have just a basic 1080p, it's still the healing technology comes through.
Well, there are YouTube videos and it's like, play the YouTube video of it, and that you'll get like some kind of watered down version of the energy.
It's like Dead Rising. Like you might just have see in front of you like an ordinary hammer and a chainsaw, but when you put them together, it's a new, better weapon that's much, much more capable.
It has a crafting system. That's right. Yeah, so I mean, this is the creation, allegedly. There's a little controversy there, but the creation of a sort of a natural healing person named Dr. Sandra Rose Michael. She claims she came up with this idea around 2002, and she packaged it, and then so since then she's kind of been hawking these devices, all around the world.
Yeah, in fact, I have a clip of this device in action, and like Jake, I want you to describe what you see happening here.
Oh, with pleasure.
What does this look like to you, Jake?
I mean, honestly, like this looks like a scene from I Saw the TV Glow. This is actually way cooler visually than I thought. Like if this were a scene taking place in kind of a low budget horror science fiction movie, I'd be like, very clever, very interesting use of color. But actually, it looks like 1980s neon colored static traveling through multiple monitors stacked on top of one another. This looks like it could have been like in a commercial in like 1987. It has a very like kind of like retro vibe, and maybe that's also the music as well. But there's also you can barely make them out, but there's a person laying on what looks like a massage table amidst all of these monitors that have these kind of like neon colors, but it's all scrambled. You know what it kind of looks like? And this is a reference that's going to be lost on most of our audience and will, give away my age. But remember back in the day at your friend's house when you would try to like watch the Playboy channel through the squigglies? You know what I mean? And every now and again, you're like, I think that might have been a nipple, maybe. That's kind of what the screens look like when they're going full.
I thought for me, it's giving like mid-aughts Halo LAN party sleepover, where it's like you have these screens just like blasting, and yet you have people like asleep in the room.
Yeah. It's but this is like stranger because at least when in a LAN party, people are like interacting and doing something. This is a group of people just lying down. Sometimes they have their eyes covered, and there's that music playing in the background, and just stacks of monitors just flashing just all of these sort of weird abstract patterns and colors.
It's really weird. I mean, it is like people, and the idea, these people think they're getting healed. There's all kinds of like seemingly like candles or like kind of other like kind of aromatherapy things scattered around.
Yeah, I can understand why somebody might wake up from this and be like, wow, I feel amazing, because it's like, yeah, you're laying down for a little bit. There's pleasant music. There's maybe a little bit of aromatherapy going on, What's not to like?
The thing is that like this to me seems like even chintzier than like the absolute BS sort of like med beds I've seen at like new age places, because like when they have like a med bed, it looks like at least a device that you like step into and you're covered. It has at least the sort of the theatrical elements of some sort of like Elysium kind of like super advanced healing technology. These are literally monitors flashing colors. It's a lot cheaper looking.
I think you're onto something here, Travis. I mean, I think that what makes it so fascinating to me is like a lot of this other stuff. It's like ivermectin or, taking some device. It sort of mimics actual medical care. But this is like everyone, like there's no actual thing where you go to the doctor and they say, okay, watch this computer for an hour,
Well, because we've got it all wrong, obviously.
So yeah, you mentioned the alleged inventor of this is a woman named Sandra Rose Michael. She claims she has a doctorate. This is kind of like a part of like some sort of like naturopathic kind of school. It's not obviously a credentialed doctor in the conventional sense.
I love in your article that you wrote on the site, there's like a disclaimer at the bottom that's like, that does not equal a medical degree. There's like, they have like language on the site just to let everybody know, just in case.
They say, this is a doctorate or whatever, but to be clear, do not actually use the title doctor. And in fact, if you do use doctor, it needs to be as a trademark.
You've been listening to a sample of a premium episode of the QAA podcast. For access to the full episode, as well as all past premium episodes and all of our podcast miniseries, go to patreon.com/QAA. Travis, why is that such a good deal?
Well, Jake, you get hundreds of additional episodes of the QAA podcast for just $5 per month. For that very low price, you get access to over 200 premium episodes, plus all of our miniseries. That includes 10 episodes of Man Clan with Julian and Annie, 10 episodes of Perverts with Julian and Liv, 10 episodes of The Spectral Voyager with Jake and Brad, plus 20 episodes of Trickle Down with me, Travis View. It's a bounty of content and the best deal in in podcasting.
Travis, for once, I agree with you. And I also agree that people could subscribe by going to patreon.com/QAA.
Well, that's not an opinion, it's a fact.
You're so right, Jake.
We love and appreciate all of our listeners.
Yes, we do. And Travis is actually crying right now, I think, out of gratitude, maybe?
That's not true. The part about me crying, not me being grateful. I'm very grateful.